Hi, I'm Polly McKinney, Advocacy Director at Voices for Georgia's Children, and welcome to my 2-minute-ish take. I'm sitting here in my messiness of the session, which is like, all I need to clean this office is a lit match. I'll be set. Let's talk about what happened this past week. We've had a number of big ticket items. We had the amended budget bill passed, the FY16 amended passed out of the Senate. So now it's passed out of the House and the Senate, and they're going to conference committee on it between the chambers to figure out their differences so they can ultimately end up at the governor's desk. People are still talking about the FY17 budget. They'll be talking about that for quite a while. We still think that might scoot out of the House around February 19th. So we're all watching that. There's a lot to talk about. I think I had something like 80-something bills in my update. It was crazy. Lots of child welfare bills, a fair number of child health bills. There are a fair number of conversations going on around a couple of bills that deal with termination of parental rights for children who are conceived as a result of rape. Those have gotten to be really interesting but complicated conversations, so kind of keep your eye out for what's going on with those. All those bills are still in committee. The latest criminal justice reform bill dropped on Wednesday or Thursday. It's like this. 85 pages of fun. The criminal justice reform bill, which is this big fat thing right here, has a bunch of stuff in it. It's got adult stuff in it. It's got juvenile stuff in it. So basically there are 4 significant provisions in the juvenile part. 3 of them have to do with school discipline, working around progressive discipline and procedural fairness, as well as memorandums of understanding with school resource officers so that everybody knows what's disciplinary versus delinquent behavior. And then there's also a floor for secure detention for kids 13 and under. There's a whole laundry list as long as my arm of things that the floor would not apply to, like all of the 7 deadly sins and all of that stuff. All the heavy duty offenses still would have secure detention for kids 13 and under. But there's a number of things that kids get locked up for now that really are just we really kind of need to just pull it back and call the parents and do some other services. So those are the big things for the criminal justice reform bill as far as kids are concerned. If you're excited about it, it is Senate Bill 367 and you can read it. The Pimping and Pandering Bill passed, as well as it passed out of the Senate, as well as the lactation licensure bill passed out of the House. Also this week, there have been a number of bills on Kinship Care that have dropped. There was a study committee this summer that looked at Kinship Care, which for those of you who aren't familiar with what it is, it's when a child's parents can't take care of them, oftentimes they are raised by their grandparents or family members or people who are very close to the family, friends of the family. And so some of those kinship relationships are done through the Department of Family and Child Services. Some of them are independent, but a lot of this legislation has to do with helping those kinship families be more successful. So a lot of those bills, I think all but one, are in the Juvenile Justice Committee, the House Juvenile Justice Committee. We would love to have them heard, and especially because kids in kinship care, research shows that they fare better than kids who are not in kinship care and just in regular foster care. Watch out for more information on all of those. All right, so your advocacy ask for this week is, I'm going to give you 2 actually. One is to send the cleaning elves here to clean up all this mess that accumulates during session because I'm about to suffocate it and all. And 2, call the Juvenile Justice Committee in the House and ask members of that committee to ask for hearings on these kinship care bills. I kind of feel like unless we beat the drum a little bit, they might not realize how important they are to help so many children in this state. There's something like 300,000 kids in this state right now in kinship care, and we want to be sure to support them as much as we can. Thanks. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Herc, come do the update. Are you going to give the dog update? Any bills on the state dog? There's always something wrong with my glasses when we do these things. I don't know what's going on. See Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and there's that knight whose visor keeps falling. Yeah. And it keeps falling. It doesn't even have anything in here, but it just keeps falling. It's so annoying. That's what my glasses are like.